I'm now very pleased to introduce our special speaker this afternoon, Artis G. Hampshire-Cowan. Ms. Hampshire-Cowan is Senior Vice President and Secretary at Howard University in Washington, D.C. In that role, she is currently leading the effort to expand and develop Howard University's North Research Campus in Beltsville, Maryland. As the Corporate Secretary of Howard University, she managed the affairs of Howard's Board of Trustees, and for over a decade, she planned and managed all official functions of the university. For 7 years, she performed a dual role as Vice President for Human Resource Management and has also served as Acting President of Howard. We are very honored to have Artis back with us today. Artis made her first appearance at UIU Commencement this past winter when she spoke to our upper Iowa graduates in Malaysia and Hong Kong. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Artis Hampshire-Cowan.
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Trustees, Cabinet officers, distinguished platform guests, faculty, students, staff, alumni, friends, and of course the class of May 2012. Good afternoon. We've gathered here for this very celebratory commencement in your honor. On Commencement Day, we also commend the university, as commencement is the manifestation of its mission, and it is gloriously displayed on commencements. Graduates, you've chosen well. Upper Howard University is an innovator in higher education and a pioneer in developing global citizens. You're graduating in a very exciting time in world history. You've been prepared to fulfill a special mission, a special calling. Today I call upon you to lean into it and look to discover your unique life's purpose. I know that you've taken the time to thank all of those who helped you get here today, but I'm going to ask that you do something unusual. I will ask that you also pause and thank those who did not believe in you. Yeah, there were people who didn't believe in you, who didn't help you, who may have purposely put obstacles in your way. Without knowing it, they helped you too. They helped you learn to achieve notwithstanding adversity. So will you forgive them today and move on? Will you really forgive them today and move on? Thank you. It lightens your load as you go forward in your future. Commencement is a life marker. It's both the end and the beginning. And so today you end the countless hours of study and juggling, and you take up a new beginning. I'm sure you've already given lots of thought to your new beginning. Having dedicated yourself to attaining an advanced degree, you obviously have specific personal and professional aspirations in mind. Do hold on to this. But I'd like to spend this afternoon with you in what I call my uncommencement address. Yes, an uncommencement address. Because I want to share some wisdom. I want you to have the benefit of some of my hard knocks. And besides, I want you to remember what I say today many years from now. I hope I will provide advice that will help you navigate in the future. So what I'd like to spend my time with you about today is fear. And so your mind is racing and saying, why is she talking about fear when today is supposed to be light and celebratory and happy talk? It's because it's important that you know what's coming. A couple of months ago, I had an opportunity to read a wonderful book about the friendship of Winston Churchill and Franklin Delano Roosevelt, two historic icons who were credited with changing the world through their collaboration in World War II. While there have been many books written about them, this particular book by David Stafford focused on the individuals, who they were, not what they did. Interestingly enough, as revered and respected as Churchill is and was, he acknowledged his challenge with fear. I gained great insights reading this book, and it helped me to assess myself and to be in touch with my own fears as I think about my second career. Since reading the book, I've asked myself, what would I do if I were not afraid? Therefore, today I share a gift with you. If only my undergraduate commencement speaker in '76 had warned me about fear and its impact on success, perhaps today I would be the first African-American woman to head a Fortune 500 company. Instead, it's Ursula Burns, the chairwoman and CEO of Xerox. Fear is the greatest impediment to the achievement of our dreams. Many of you will not achieve the life goals that you hold in your head and heart today. Not because you're not intelligent, committed, hardworking, and ambitious. No, it will be because you are simply afraid. Afraid to chance following, afraid you can't navigate success. It's amazing, but the greatest barrier to our success is the fear of failure. In the time that I have left, I want to explore with you fear. How it is critical to your success, that you be aware of it, that you understand its role in your life, and that you have strategies to overcome it, because you will need it. Fear is perhaps the oldest emotion known to mankind. Over the years, it's been my best friend and my worst enemy. Fear is not always bad. In fact, fear forced me to prepare in reverse today, so I wouldn't look like a fool standing here. Fear is a natural response to a real or perceived danger. However, it becomes unhealthy when it controls our behavior and keeps us from doing positive things. Fear is learned behavior. You see, love is what we're born with. Fear is what we learn. Think about young children. They're fearless, bold, inquisitive explorers. We need to learn to hold on to some of our childlikeness in our quest to deal with our fears. In reviewing the literature, and especially a book called 30 Days to Facing Your Fear by Deborah Pegas, I found that fear of failure and fear of success was most often cited as the reason for unfulfilled goals. But there are lessons to be learned in failure. Let's take a look at one of America's most beloved presidents, Abraham Lincoln. Over a 30-year period, he failed in business in 1831. He was defeated in the state legislature in 32. He tried another business in 33, it failed. His fiancée died in 35. He had a nervous breakdown in 36. In 43, he ran for Congress and was defeated again. He tried running for Senate in 55, he lost. The next year, he ran for vice president and lost. In 59, he ran for Senate again, and guess what? He lost. However, in 1860, the man we call the great emancipator, Abraham Lincoln, was elected President of the United States, the 16th President. So you see, the difference between history's boldest accomplishments and his most staggering failure is simply the diligence to persevere. One of my favorite leaders, the former governor of Texas, the first female, Ann Richards, now deceased, would often say, the path to success is to just keep on showing up. Because other people give up, and at least if you show up, you win. President Lincoln refused to allow fear of failure to block his progress. Throughout history, we find that many great people fail. So, class of 2012, what about you? Have past failures or the thought of failure stopped you from pursuing a goal or a dream? Fear is rooted in the feeling of inadequacy, which is based on the erroneous belief that our success is solely based on our own efforts and abilities. This can lead to a life of unfulfilled dreams and frustrations about what could have been. So today I ask, what would you do if you were not afraid? What would you do if you were not afraid? If you get nothing else from my address today, I want you to ponder this question the rest of your life. At least annually. What would I do if I were not afraid? Now, I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm going to give you some strategies, because you will hit the wall in the future, and more than likely it will be about fear. So here are a couple of things. First, I think it's terribly important that you spend time really getting clarity around your true aspirations. What it is you really want to do and dream for, and not what other people have told you you want for and dream for. It's important to define success for yourself. Don't allow others to define success, and certainly don't determine success by merely achieving and acquiring lots of material things. Ponder your doubts. Ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen if I don't succeed? And then it's important to practice a can-do attitude. And I'm always reminded of a childhood book. It's funny, the things we learned before kindergarten that help us through life. Thomas, the little engine that could. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I can. It even helps in ability. And finally, I would say it's important to acknowledge learned lessons from failure and mistakes. Failure is not fatal. Neither does it define who you are. It's simply the result of your actions, not a measure of your worthiness. Thomas Edison once said, "I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And then finally, the Nike slogan, "Just do it." Even if for a short time, you got to muster the courage and take the leap and just do it. Because 9 times out of 10, you will succeed. And that's when you call on your faith. And I'll say a little bit more about that shortly. Now, let's turn to the fear of success. Yes, we are afraid of success. Interesting, right? Surprising, right? But it's true. The fear of success stems from several limiting beliefs that we have. The fear of the inability to maintain the success. The fear of the inability to meet the expectations and responsibility of success. And the fear of rejection and alienation by those who are unhappy about our success. Some of us fear success because we somehow believe we're not worthy of abundance, or anything ordinary is okay. Whatever the reason, it seems odd that anyone would fear success, but we do. So how do we recognize it? Fear of success is characterized by self-sabotaging behaviors like procrastination, underperformance, pretending like we don't know to avoid being wrong, or being sidetracked by minor things that get in the way of the main thing. And we end up over years saying over and over what we plan to do someday. Many of these actions are done subconsciously. Does this sound familiar? Come on, be honest. Does it sound familiar at all? Could it be true that you are afraid of success? Again, I have a couple of strategies for you to overcome this. Spend time really in deep thought. Ask yourself and answer honestly. Again, at least to yourself, you don't have to share it. Am I afraid of success? Do I exhibit behaviors that suggest that I am? Determine the source of why you believe that and get rid of it. Because your perception of your worthiness will play a major role in how much you allow yourself to achieve in life. Are you preoccupied with what other people think? Well, my grandmother, the sage advisor she was, would say, I don't worry about pleasing other people. I try to please myself and hope they're happy, because I know I'm hard to please. It's also important that you recognize self-sabotaging behavior and just stop it. And this will mean you will need to learn to manage yourself and stop procrastinating. Associate with people who are headed where you're going. Remember, birds of a feather flock together? These are goal-oriented closers who get things done and who demonstrate the right priorities. Watch what they do and do what they do. And finally, remember, somebody is watching you. Consider that your journey and success may be a testament to someone else on the ladder below you who is struggling to figure out how to achieve that which they thought was impossible. Well, as I come to the end, I'm going to let you in on a secret. I found the best antidote to fear, all fear. It's spiritual development and courage. If you research courage, you'll find an array of information over time, courage and what it means and its importance as a virtue. But for purposes of today, let's just say courage is the ability to confront fear, pain, danger, uncertainty, and intimidation. Well, let me give you an even shorter version. For me, courage is doing what is right and just, even when we're afraid. So you don't have to be fearless. You just need to have the fortitude and the courage to act notwithstanding being afraid. Perhaps the most important weapon for dealing with issues and finding security in yourself is developing a rich and deep spiritual life. I've worked purposely in the development of my spirit self. Developing spirit self armed me with the wisdom necessary to know that I should trust my feelings and thoughts and act upon them. It's called intuition or insight. Again, the philosopher, my grandmother, often said, "My mind don't fool me." You see, when we spend time developing our spirit self as much as we focus on our intellect and our physical bodies, we develop a sixth sense. I've learned that that sixth sense is what gives us our competitive edge. It is what makes us uniquely us. That is where our brilliance comes from, and it is where we find our unique gifts. But to develop the sixth sense, you gotta do some work. You must seek out your spiritual self. Spend the time exploring it and become painfully aware of who you are, what you care about, and what you believe in. You get there by spending time alone in thought and reflection. And again, the wisdom of my grandmother was always, be still, because God can't talk to you when you're busy. Spending the time to develop yourself spiritually will strengthen you and give you courage. It will give you faith. Faith to act on what you cannot see, but that which you hope for. And now, I can't end without a plug for what I believe is an essential ingredient for success. It's called service. Service to others and service to our community. Serving others yields many more dividends than what I provide to those I serve. I grow, I learn more, and become a better person with each act of service. And to my surprise, and quite unexpectedly, my service to others has garnered honor, respect, recognition, and love. Many times in mentoring young professionals, they ask, how do I gain notoriety and recognition? My answer is simple. Focus on the work. Employ a personal standard of excellence in all that you do. Seek to serve, and the rest comes. Now, one last bit of advice. I want you to pause and take a deep breath. I really want you to take a deep breath with me. Revel in this moment. Enjoy yourself. Take the time to celebrate. Take the time to commend yourself. Too many times we fail to acknowledge our own accomplishments and we look for the acknowledgement external to us. Remember, do not allow anyone to be better to you than you are to yourself. Be your own best friend and coach. Graduates, congratulations on this momentous occasion and the achievement of a major milestone. We look forward to great things from you. Congratulations.